Hi everyone, welcome to the Sonical.ly podcast, where music creators educate music creators. I'm Gina.
And I'm Elmo.
In today's episode, we are honored to host the mesmerizing Winona Oak, a singer-songwriter whose haunting melodies and beautiful lyrics have captivated audiences around the globe. Originating from the serene landscapes of Sweden, Winona Oak's journey into music is as enchanting as her sound. Her breakthrough came through her collaboration with What's So Not on the track Beautiful, which showcased her ability to convey deep emotions through her music. She further captivated the music community with her stunning vocals on the Chainsmokers hit Hope.
Winona's solo works, such as He Don't Love Me and Break My Broken Heart, resonate with themes of love, loss, and resilience, reflecting her strength in using music as a form of expression and connection. In today's conversation, we will delve into Winona's musical influences, her creative process, and the stories behind her profound lyrics. So without further ado, let's welcome the incredibly talented, the ethereal Winona Oak.
Woo! Yay!
Hello.
Hello.
What a beautiful introduction, guys.
You know, we had to do it because when we heard your music and when we heard your story, um, beauty just resonated with us, and so we had to sort of send that out into the world to express who you are.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel very honored.
No problem. When we're very excited to have you on the show, just to sort of go over your story and everything. I was wondering if we could sort of rewind back to the beginning. Um, did you grow up with music in your life?
Yes, I did. I grew up with a grandma who was always singing for me when I was a kid. And my oldest sister would play guitar and sing a lot of songs for me. She would. There was always music playing in my house. All the Leonard Cohen records, the Beatles, Bob Dylan, Patti Smith. All of these different artists that I just grew up listening with. A lot of music. Always music in the house.
In terms of the education of music, did you grow up with traditional music lessons and that type of thing?
I did. I started playing violin when I was 5, and I took violin lessons for like 10 years. And then I started playing piano when I was 9. And there's this musical school in my hometown. I grew up in a really small town, and there was this one place where you could go and be creative and take lessons. And I think that meant so much for me. It was so important for me to have that kind of community where you just can be creative and, you just amazing teachers. And I learned a lot.
So you mentioned the violin and 10 years of those lessons. I found that usually the traditional path of that violin structure, it's like you either end up in orchestra or like as a teacher. And a lot of that is because it's kind of like you're playing classical pieces and going through sort of like a rigorous training. Um, how did you discover the process of creating music, within sort of that path?
I mean, I started writing a lot of stories when I was younger, and then I wanted to be a writer, and then I just tried to turn it into music. And I think I did that very early on. I would write a song about my horse and call it like horses are my best friends kind of. And then I got a lot of help from my teachers too, also to like develop that, and just being able to write all those horrible first songs. You need to write so many songs before you can like find the structure, I think, and know what works for you. But I don't know. I think like I also was looking a lot online, um, and trying to like find like, oh, there's this is how you like write a song. Like you need like a verse and a pre and then the chorus and like what is the chorus, you know? So yeah, it was a lot of googling and
Did you find yourself, the ability to emote through the penmanship? You said that it started off with the horsey song, but did um, did you find yourself uh, able to be as honest as you are now from the beginning, or did that take time to evolve and develop?
um, I think I you know it took time, but I think I just wrote for me. I've always written for me, so I think I've always been very like vulnerable and honest in my lyrics. So I think I in the beginning I would just write about like silly heartbreak, like when you're a kid and you're in love with someone who doesn't love you back, and it was my English was also very limited. Um, and it's so much better now. So now I have like um, a better way of describing my emotions and describing like some my songwriting is like so much better now. So I think that helps. But I also started writing a lot in Swedish when I was younger. So it was just mostly Swedish because that was my that's my main language. You know. So, but I think I always tried to be very transparent, and music has always been a way for me to like vent my emotions and my my feelings, and I think it's just a way for me to pour my heart into my songs.
I guess through that, as you continue to write songs, so many things have happened. Like those stories that you've been able to communicate have brought you on this path where you've released songs that have affected so many people around the world, and now you're at a point where you're releasing so much good music and impacting so many people. What were some of the hardest moments along that journey to becoming a renowned songwriter artist, and how did you overcome those hardships?
Oh, there's so many disappointments, trying to find your way. It's not easy being a songwriter or an artist. Like being in music is kind of, you know, it's based on like touching people's feelings, and like, it was so hard to like find my sound and finding the right people to work with. Especially as a girl, I think it's so easy to fall into the wrong kind of people, and I think people also kind of want to shape you a lot, and make you into something that maybe you don't really stand for. So I think for me it was especially harder when I was younger, when I was like 19, and I was so new in the music industry, and I felt like once a door opened, it was so hard for me to say no to that opportunity, because you never know if it's going to come again, but maybe it's not good for you. So I think it just took me a lot of bad decisions to like learn and to finally like find the right people, and like the right songs and the right people to work with, that I feel comfortable with and that I feel have my best interest, But it is a jungle, and it is so hard to find good people and like people who actually like care about you, because there's also music is like also a business, There's a lot of like money involved with like labels and publishers and management companies that want to also maybe develop someone into something more as a product, and sell it. You're basically like music is also like a product. So I think it's just for me, it's been very important to just, you know, I want to be able to stand for what I release, and I want it to be real and like, you know, based on my life and my experiences. And I think it's been a journey.
Are there particular qualities in people now that you've been through certain situations where you kind of have the foresight to know this is somebody that I would like to work with, this is somebody that I would not like to work with, and what are those qualities do you feel that they need to have or not have?
Well, I think it's important that the people that you work with understand you and understand your music and your creative language, and that they're not trying to tell you to, like, you know, change everything, and that they let you be the person that you are, and like the music that you make is so unique for everyone is so unique, and just to keep that uniqueness. So I am just trying also to look for people who just understands me and that I feel like I have a good vibe with. Just, I mean, you know when you know, kind of, after being in the in the game for a while.
It's just kind of like an intuition.
Yeah, and it's not always right, but mostly it's just trusting your gut feeling, and not letting people also, like, I think there's a lot of this, you know, promising so much and then not delivering what they promise. So I think just gotta be careful with who you trust.
Gotcha. So the next question kind of ties into I guess the comparisons, because I'm gu- I'm guessing that a lot of like the industry talk for people that aren't totally understanding of who you are might give you a comparison, right? Like, we want you to be the next da 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 or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
um, but a common YouTube thread that appears on your songs is if Lana Del Rey and Sia had a kid, it would sound like Winona Oak. Do you agree with this?
I
And
love that.
if
That's so
not, who
sweet.
are your musical birth parents?
Oh, I think that's a good that's an amazing uh, comparison. Yeah, I love both Sia and Lana Del Rey, and I think they probably, like, you know, inspired me a lot because I've been listening to them both a lot over the years, and that's a good comparison. Yeah, I can definitely be their little love child. I'm happy to be.
I'm sure they would too. I'm sure they would love to have you as a child, their musical child. Um, who are some other names that you could accept as musical birth parents? Because I know in past interviews you mentioned Leonard Cohen a lot.
Yeah, I love him.
He could be a viable father,
Oh
musical
yeah,
father. Yeah.
definitely. Like, I think Leonard Cohen, and I also love Bjork.
Hmm.
I love Robin a lot. Um, you know, there's too many good artists out there, like Nancy Sinatra. You know, there's. But I think Sia and Lana Del Rey are like a really good. You know, good. That's like they both have that kind of like nerve that I'm always looking for with my own music, and the way that I'm trying to like express my the way that I'm singing and just expressing myself. And they're not like perfect. They have that like little nerve that hits you. So
Totally. Hope is a collaboration done with the Chainsmokers that have impacted many lives all over the world. Studies show that deep, detailed memories of meaningful creation stay with us for the rest of our lives. Could you share the step-by-step creation story of the song and how it all came together?
Oh yeah, it's it was in 2018, I think. I had my first session with two of my now favorite people to work with, Kate Morgan and Chris Lyon, and it was our first ever session. Like, I never met them before, and I just told them about a heartbreak that I had experienced when I was younger, and we were just talking for hours about life and our you know just experiences, and then that's how like hope came alive, and I never like I didn't even think about it. I think it was a great song, but it was slow. It was like really slow in the beginning when we wrote it, and then I went to New York. Like I think it was a couple of weeks later, and all of a sudden I got this demo from a guy that I work with, and he was like, "Oh, Chainsmokers did a version of the song." So they had sent it to them, and they like made a completely new kind of. They just brought it to life. They sped it up, and it's like when you listen to the original, it's very slow, and they just added so much magic to it. And then they invited me to their studio house in LA, and I was very nervous meeting them because I didn't know what to expect, and I was a new artist. I hadn't put anything out yet, like not a single song basically, and I was in their house, and I think they had just like had a workout or something. So they were both like coming up in their like workout clothes, and I was like, okay. And then we went to the studio, and we're just also talking and vibing that entire day. And then we recorded and rewrote some stuff, and yeah, that's how the song came alive. And they were so sweet. Like they took me to Vegas on their private jet to like celebrate, and and they've been amazing friends, ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. That's crazy. And we talked about Sia a little bit before, and I don't know if this is a comparable story, but like um, when she made Titanium with David Guetta, um, she had also done sort of like a slower version of the song, and then it was remixed into something a little bit more um, for the mass audiences. Um, but she had in past interviews talked about her um, not imagining the original version of that song to be how it turned out, like more electronic. Um, when you wrote Hope initially, did you imagine it could be what it became?
Oh, never. No, I had no idea. Like we just wrote a song. Like it's just a song about my ex, basically. Like, and that was it. We didn't even think about it. Like I had no idea that it would be picked up by like the Chainsmokers, and that they would turn it into um, what it became. Like it's just no, I had no idea.
The most recent EP release is called Void.
Yes, it's out today.
Yeah, we're so excited. Like I've been listening to a lot of the songs on repeat, and a lot of the vibe that it gives me takes me back to a time when I felt a certain way about life. Um, can you tell us a little bit more about sort of like the tracks on there and the release?
Yeah. Well, the entire EP was written during the worst year of my life last year. Um, I lost my mom
I'm
last
sorry.
year, and she was my everything. She was my sunshine and the person that I would talk to about everything. We would talk every day. Um, and I lost her. She was battling with cancer for 15 years. and it's been like a crazy, you know, she was a fighter. She was incredibly strong. She survived the most, you know, inhuman things. Like even with like a 30% survival rate, she would like survive 2 bone marrow transplantations and months in the hospital. You know, I was 14 when she got sick, so it was affecting me a lot. Like, I felt like I was always running. We were always running, like looking over our shoulders, like running from death. It was always like some kind of darkness in all the light, because of her illness, and just knowing that I could lose her at any moment. So last year, I just let myself create whatever I had to create, and it started with or without you, which was dedicated to my mom, and you know, it's just about living without her and how like it's still very unreal, and it's still very like, you know, I can't like sometimes I'm even like finding myself like, you know, almost calling her, and then I just realize, you know, oh, you know, she's not there anymore. So it's you know, this entire EP is really like a void. Like it's a void in my chest. It's a void in my life that I'm never going to be able to fill with, you know, anything again, because it's just always going to be a void after her. She left this empty space within me. So all these tracks are very personal, and yeah, Fire Escapes is maybe the only one that is talking about my past like life, like how I've been like trying to guard myself a bit, and I had so much trouble trusting people, and I think I've been kind of self-sabotaging a lot in my past relationships. So, and then the song that's out on the EP today, Who Would I Be? It's a song just questioning, like, who would I be if I didn't have all this shit that happened to me, basically, like all the baggage and traumas that I carry with me every single day, and just questioning that, like playing around with that question, like who could I be? Could I be a totally different person, like if I didn't have all of this with me? So it's a heavy EP, but it's also, you know, it has some light. I think Fragile Thing is one of those songs also when it's just dedicated to the people that I love, like my friends and my dog Lily, and just all the beauty that's still in my life. And you know, making music is like saving me, and there's still so much beauty in my life. So.
Thank you for sharing. That's yeah. I could definitely hear all of those emotions in the songs, and yeah, I could feel the, you know, within the time there was like a weightedness in the words that you spoke. My follow up question is, you know, you named the album Void. Are there any other things other than music that you're doing to fill that void?
Yeah, my dog Lily. I love her. I love hanging out with her. She basically saved my life. I think just being with the people that I meet in my life and that that I love, my friends, my close friends, and just trying to surround myself with as much light as possible, and diving into things that make me feel like I'm a little bit more whole. Like it's hard to fill the void, but music is like probably the thing that's been working best for me. Just staying creative and trying to write every day, and I love all the people that I work with, and they're all my friends. So it's just I think like I have the best job in the world, just doing what I love with the people that I love. So I'm really, really grateful for that. I think it would be unbearable if I didn't have music.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the song "Fire Escapes." It uses the term as such a brilliant metaphor that describes the constant actions of someone with a guarded, wounded heart to keep on building fire escapes in relationships. Um, and these lines really resonated with me. It's like I keep on hurting people just to stop them hurting me back. I
Mm,
keep on sabotaging myself till I'm all that I have. Um, what were you going through at that time to, yeah, to be able to sort of write that with such clarity? And why was it that this song slotted into the album narrative of the past year of your life that was kind of like written from a different time period, timestamp?
well, it's all part of the void. Like just when you live with someone who is that sick for this many years. It's been half my life. She was sick for half my life. It's like you're constantly expecting the worst. I think I've always tried to prepare myself for the worst scenarios just to protect myself. And with Fire Escapes, it's just one of those songs that describes like how I would handle relationships because of the way that I grew up, and the way, like the things that I experienced. And it's just so much easier sometimes to be the one to leave before they leave you, because that's scary. It's so scary to love someone, because I think pain is the price you pay for your love, and love can be painful, and I just felt like I didn't deserve it, or like I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle being in like a relationship that was healthy, and like I was always drawn to people who were like toxic for me and not treating me well. Probably, self-sabotaging a bit. So I think that song just it's just part of the void, and it's part of who I am, and why like with everything that's happened in the past. Just yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling when they're just like, you'd rather be the one to go before someone leaves you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely that. Yeah, and that was like probably one of the hardest hitting lines. And I think Gina is giving me signals too that she could really relate to a lot of the things that you're saying and a lot of the words
Mm.
that you've said in the record, um, in the records. Yeah, and I don't know. There's just something very visual in the lyrics when I hear them, and it kind of takes anybody back to a time when they were feeling that way, if there was any time in their life that they were, or even at present. So, yeah, I just have to really thank you for your honesty, because it really helps people, like when they hear um, people are going through the same things potentially as you are. And yeah, thank you so much for that.
Of course.
um, to switch gears a little bit, I was wondering if I could ask you something a little bit technical. We have just a couple more questions in my section here. One of the great sonic choices you make on your vocals is using auto tune on your chorus vocal tracks. Do you remember when you realized that would embody a part of the Winona Oak sonic sound?
Well, I just been really grateful to work with super talented producers, and just finding what works best for me and my voice. And I just, I love a specific sound on my voice, like a lot of like compression and reverb, and it just depends on the song, of course. But I, I feel like I wish I was a producer myself. I need to learn, um, but it's just. I think you just gotta find what works for you and just develop that and keep doing that.
Cool. Okay, last question for me is, because we are doing these interviews for a community of aspiring music creators, what advice would you give to young artists and songwriters who look up to you and aspire to make their mark as an accomplished singer-songwriter like yourself?
I think the most important thing you can do is just keep on trying, because it takes a lot of time, to build something. And for me, it took many years. Um, just many years of like having no money at all and having like 4 jobs, borrowing money from my parents, um, and just still sticking to it, just not give up, and just do whatever makes you unique and develop that even more. And just don't try to like be too, um, affected by like TikTok or whatever's trending. Just do whatever's, makes you feel something. And I think that's like the most important thing you can do, because that will make you authentic. And it's I think we live in a time when we're kind of losing a bit of soul in the music, because people are just trying to trend on TikTok and on getting into the best lists, and music is getting shorter. So I think just don't think about what other people will think about it, and like don't try to follow too many trends. Just do you. Go opposite way, and that will make you stand out.
That is going to go a long way with a lot of people, and we thank you very much for sharing that with us. At this time, I'm going to pass the baton over to Gina with her loud
I know,
mic.
I'm sorry, guys. Let me lower this. I just got it, so I'm just playing around with it. My bad. I set it up today at home, so please excuse me and my craziness. Please let me know if it's too loud or if it's getting too weird. Feel free to yell at me.
No, don't worry.
Thank you so much. By the way, where are you right now? Are you in Sweden right now or LA?
I'm in Lausanne. Yeah, I'm in LA right now.
Really? Elmo is too.
Yes.
No, I came back to
Oh, you're
Vancouver.
in
I was
Vancouver?
there,
Oh.
and I caught a
Oh,
cold
dear
in
goodness.
LA.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I brought back a
Get
cold.
better.
Thank you.
Get well.
All right. Well, we're here in Canada, and us Canadians, we love you. So thank you so much again for your time today. Before I even get into the rapid fire round, I just want to let you know that your lyrics really resonated with me personally too. So I think there's going to be a lot of females or people around the world who can really understand your language, your interpretation of this pain, because it's just so raw and real. So I really appreciate it. I wish I could be bold and brave like you. So it's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right. Okay, well, now let's get into Gina's rapid fire round. I'm going to ask you a few questions that you just need to answer on, like, just real quick. I guess whatever pops in your head that you feel like is the answer that best suits you, please let us know. It's just a little fun round here to wrap it up. All right.
Yay, that's fun.
Yay. All right, so we're going to start Gina's rapid fire round. Here we go. Number one, what digital audio workstation do you use and why?
I use Logic, but I am not really a good producer just yet.
It's okay. And have you played around with any favorite plugins? Have you figured out any kind of like uh, things that you thought were cool while playing around with it while you're learning?
Well, I do love reverb, and I love a good
Me
compression.
too.
And I think I'm better at giving notes to producers and being like, hey, I want it to sound like more crisp, and they're like, okay, can you be more like specific? I'm like, no, just crisp.
I totally understand.
So
Yeah, I
funny.
totally understand what you're saying. I really, really do. So number three is, what is a sound that always brings you joy? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be musical. It could be anything.
Um, the sound of laughter. My friends, hearing my friends laugh.
I love that. Okay, number four. So, how would you rank your music creator skills out of 10? I'm going to ask you a couple for the following, okay? The first one is beat making.
Oh, one.
All good. You can only go up then. Okay, lyric writing.
8.
Yes. Sound design.
1.
Hmm.
2 maybe, because I'm good at giving notes.
You are.
So okay, I'm giving myself a 4 there.
Good. Mixing. Yeah.
A 1.
You have an ear, though. Remember, you have an ear. All right. Top lining.
8.
Yes. Music theory.
Like a 4.
Arranging. I think you're good at that.
4.
Oh, okay. Well, then. Number five, what is your reaction, like your facial reaction, when you know you've made some fire? Heat.
Oh, I would just be excited. Like, probably do like an ugly dance or something.
Oh, too bad we can't catch that. Anyway,
Oh,
are you doing it? Are you doing it? No. Okay, number six. When do you feel 100% happy with the song you made?
just when I want to play it on repeat and repeat and repeat. That's when I'm like, oh, this is actually a good song.
Yeah.
And when I want to send it to all my friends, then I know, like, okay, actually want to share this because they're like, this is actually really good.
Yes. Okay, so number seven, if AI technology was somehow able to take over our jobs as music creators, what new career path would you choose?
That's so sad. Hopefully that's not going to happen. Well, I was going to say I would do something creative, but I guess AI would just take all the creative jobs then. I don't know, I would work with dogs maybe. Or fashion. I love fashion. Probably fashion.
Ooh.
Dogs and fashion.
Yes, I love it, love it. Okay, now the last question is, what's next for Winona Oak? Anything you want to promote?
Well, I'm releasing this EP today, called Voice. Super exciting. And then I am gonna play some live shows. I have a couple of live shows planned in Sweden, and I have one in LA next week. A showcase, and yeah, I'm just releasing music. So keep track on my tracks.
Yes. Woo woo. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, like getting to know you at this type of like in a conversation like this, even listening, it was the most interesting and intimate thing I think I've actually gone through with someone in a long, long time. So we really appreciate you opening up your story and your life like this musically. I'm sure many people will heal and also cry to your music, as I did last night. So on
Oh,
Yeah,
repeat.
and I saw
I'm
Gina
just like,
crying in
I
the
can't
interview
do this.
too.
I'm like,
no
there's just like,
way.
I understand where you're coming from. It's just like, you speak, English isn't your first language, but for us, for me, it's Korean. So like I understand kind of where you're coming from and the angle that you're at. And it's everything you do is just so you and it's authentically you. And I really hope you keep being you and do what you love to do. And I hope everybody shows her love for her new album, Void. I will be listening to
Thank
it
you.
so much. Thank you so much again. And we hope to see you or talk to you again one day soon. Thank
Yes,
you.
let's do it
Thank you
again.
so
Thank you so
much.
much,
Thank
guys.
Thank
You're
you.
you,
lovely.
Winona.
We
Okay.
love you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. I love you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.